Alright, what's going on, everybody? Jam here, bringing you guys another GTA 5 online live stream. Let me move my face cam so we can see the money right here. Boom. We're sitting at 5,485,000 right here in GTA Online. There is rumored to be a new DLC update that's going to pretty much be the last update in GTA 5 Online. So it's supposed to come out in December, and it's going to have mansions, okay? They're going to be like 10 to 15 million dollars apparently. So let's go ahead and get on our grind right here. We're trying to make that money for the GTA Online final update. Collect the visitor bonus. Boom. Okay, spin the wheel. Hey, make sure you guys get the merch, alright? Link is in the description, you feel me? Money. Okay, yeah, money. Right there, that's 15 bands, okay? So we just made 16 bands off the rip for free. Make sure you guys do that every time. See, look at that. Now we're at 5,500,000 right there. Okay? Let's go. Exit. Mechanic.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. I'll bring it to you. I know, right?
Let's go. Make sure you guys drop a thumbs up on this bad boy right here, okay? Here, let's go to the mod shop right now. Let's edit this car. Okay. Windows. None, light, medium, heavy. Okay, let's put it to dark. Alright, we're good here. Now our Mustang looks how it looks in real life. Okay. Should I put the word December in the title somewhere? Because it's rumored to come out in December.
Boss. Hi there. What do you need? I'll take care of the food. You take care of the company.
CEO of Jam Fam. Source. Oh, wait, 3%. Wait, we have a car in there? Wait, we have a car in there. We're about to go sell it.
Our fearless leader. Hello. What can I do for you? You got a nice fleet, boss. Your personal vehicle's being brought up now.
Oh, shit. Exclusive clothing? Police bike? No, I don't want that. I think that tint is still too dark. In real life, my tint's a little lighter than that. Alright, here we go. Let's sell this car first.
Get ready to work. Your own personal DMV. Wouldn't recognize it.
Let's go. Here's the ops. Ooh. That was smooth. There's the ops again. Fuck. What the hell? Oh shit. What if this is one of the mansions we could buy right here?
one's going on the balance sheet for next quarter.
Damn, bro. Shit.
What miracle did you want me to perform? You have any problems? You bring her back to me.
Nah, that's too light. Yeah, we're cool like that. Let's leave it like that. Okay. Enter office.
Good to see you, boss. Oh, hi. do you choose between your children? They're bringing your personal.
Let's drive the Durango on this one. Yo, everybody smash thumbs up on this bad boy. Everyone say GTA 6 in the chat. Nice. Oh shit. Beautiful. Did I take melatonin? Let me take melatonin. Alright, good shit. Oh, 9-minute cooldown. Fuck. Okay, be right back. All right, we're back. Here, let's watch some YouTube. Hey, make sure you guys buy the merch, by the way. Link is in the description, you feel me? Make sure you guys buy the merch. All right, let's check this shit out.
And before you click off thinking this is just some doom and gloom Gen Z complaining video, hear me out. This isn't about just giving up. It's about being strategic and honest about the reality we live in. Let me start with some numbers. The median home price in the U.S. is now over $420,000. And in my city, try $800,000 for a decent place that doesn't require you to renovate everything from the foundation up. And I'm not talking about some mansion with a pool either. I'm talking about a basic two-bedroom house that probably was built in the 1950s. When my parents initially bought their home, they only paid 3 times the median income. Actually, it was only around 2.6 to 3 times their income. Now on a national level, it's about 6. And around me, it's about 8 times. And that's being generous because these are the same homes from the 90s. But now 35 years older, 35 years more worn down, and more expensive. After the 2008 Great Recession, we actually stopped the acceleration of building in America, and for the past 15 years, we had record low interest rates. But now that I am ready to buy a house, they are all over 6 times my income, older, more worn down, and interest rates are at 20-year highs. But everyone keeps telling me the same thing. Just save up for a down payment, look at FHA loans, maybe even consider a fixer-upper. And honestly, I used to buy into the advice. I spent months looking at houses online, calculating mortgage payments, trying to figure out how I can make that work.
All right, let's get it.
I did the math, and really did the math. Even if I saved aggressively, put down 20%, which would be around $120,000, maybe even more for something in my area, my average mortgage payment would be somewhere around $3,500 to $4,000. Add in the property tax, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and the inevitable repairs that come with owning a 50-year-old house. And now for sure it would be well over $4,000 a month, which is way more than half my take-home pay. And that's just going to housing. We never talked about utilities, which are also on the increase. So for all of that, and for what? To be house poor in my 20s? To spend every weekend at Home Depot instead of living my life? To be tied down to one location when my career might require me to move? To take on hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for an asset that might not even appreciate faster than inflation anymore? This is where people jump in with the, but you're building equity quote. Yeah, and I'm also building stress, building debt, and building a prison that's keeping me tied to a specific geographic location for the next 30 some odd years. Here's what I realized after months of house hunting and running the numbers. The entire premise that home ownership equals success is a relic from a different economical era. It's like being told to buy a horse from the age of college. My parents' generation could buy a house at 25, pay it off by 55, and use it as a retirement piggy bank. But they were buying houses for $80,000 that are now worth over $500,000. Well, really not my parents, because my parents actually lost their home in the Great Recession, but for your parents' homes, or for other people's parents' homes, who are homeowners, that's the reality. They rode a wave of artificial appreciation that simply cannot and will not repeat itself. We're living in a completely different world. The average person my age changes jobs every 2 to 3 years. We might need to move cities for career opportunities. We're dealing with student loans, stagnant wages relative to the cost of living, obviously. And we're in an economy that rewards flexibility over stability. And yet we're still being sold this 1950s dream of white picket fences and 30-year mortgages. So instead of fighting this game, I've chosen to opt out of it completely. And here's the crazy part. It's actually working out better than I even imagined. Currently I rent, and my monthly rent is less than half what I would pay if I had a mortgage on it. I have no maintenance costs, no property taxes, no HOA fees, and when my water heater breaks or something breaks, the building fixes it. If I need to move closer to work, try a different neighborhood, or just relocate for my job, I can at any time. So with my current situation, I'm actually building more wealth than I would be as a homeowner. All that money I'm not spending on down payments, closing costs, repairs, inflated monthly payments. I invested in index funds, in my retirement accounts. I'm building skills that increase my earning potential. And while my friends are either house poor, stressed about interest rates, or tied down to locations they're not even sure they want to stay in, I'm completely free. Free to take a job offer in another city, free to travel, free to invest my money in assets that don't require me to be locked in. And let's just focus on the mobility aspect for a second. Our economy rewards people who can move for opportunities, the best career growth, the highest salaries, the most interesting work. It's not all in one city. If you're locked into a mortgage in, let's say, Cleveland, because that's where you want to and can afford to buy a house in, you can't easily take that job in Austin, New York City, San Francisco, or wherever the opportunities are. I know what you're thinking, but what about retirement? What about building generational wealth? Here's the thing. I'm 24. I have 40 plus years to build that wealth through investments that are actually liquid, actually diversified, and don't require me to bet my entire financial future on one piece of real estate in one specific location. The stock market has historically returned about 7% annually after inflation. Real estate about 1% after inflation. Yeah, your house might double in value over 20 years, but so will a diversified investment portfolio, and I won't have to replace the roof or deal with property taxes. And generational wealth, I'd rather leave my kids money they can actually use instead of a house they'll probably have to sell because they can't afford the property taxes or they don't want to live in the same city I chose 40 years earlier. I'm not saying home ownership is bad for everyone. If you truly can afford it, and by afford it, I mean the total monthly cost is less than 25% of your income, and you plan to stay in the same location for at least 7 to 10 years, then maybe it makes sense for you. But for most people my age, we're being sold a dream that's actually a financial nightmare dressed up as the American dream. The funniest part is how defensive people get when I explain this. Like I'm personally attacking their life choices by making different ones. Homeowners will bend over backwards just to justify their decision, talking about the intangible benefits of home ownership and the pride of having their own place. But here's the reality when I see my homeowner friends. They stress about mortgage payments, weekends spent on repairs instead of their hobbies, arguments with the HOAs, panic about something breaking in the middle of needing it, feeling trapped by their jobs they hate because they need steady income to make the mortgage payments and they're stuck to that one location. For me, that doesn't sound like my dream. That sounds like voluntarily signing up for stress, limitation, all in exchange for social approval of checking a box that society says
What
you're
can I do
supposed
for
to
you?
check. I'd rather rent a
Let me
nice
know.
place, invest the difference, maintain my flexibility, and build wealth through assets that don't require me to become a part-time plumber, a landscaper, or even a handyman. Will I ever own a home? Maybe if the market crashes hard enough that prices return to some sane level. Or if I ever reach a point where buying a house will be like buying a car, just a consumption choice rather than a necessity. But I'm not going to sacrifice my 20s and 30s trying to achieve a goal that was designed for a different economic reality. I'm not going to go house poor chasing a status symbol that's become more of a burden than a benefit. Instead, I'm going to rent, invest, stay flexible, build actual wealth rather than the illusion of wealth that comes with an overpriced house that might actually lose value the day after you buy it. And honestly, I sleep better at night knowing that if I lose my job tomorrow, I can pack up and move anywhere in the country within 30 days or to another country even, than trying to do that when you're locked into a 30-year mortgage. The game has changed, but the advice hasn't caught up. So I'm writing my own rules. And so far, those rules are working out pretty damn well. What do you guys think? Are you guys also questioning whether home ownership makes sense anymore? Or am I completely off base here? Let me know in the comments, and if you're dealing with something similar about money,
generally, okay? Now, when we are young and we are going to school, you know, basically what we're taught is we're taught that we're going to graduate from high school, we're going to go to college, we're going to get a degree, and you know we're going to get a good job, and that's being a successful person, and that's what's drilled into our head is you know you need to get a good job, you got to get a good job, you know, and the goal is you know to get the best grades you can in high school, and then get into the best college, and you know get a degree from the best college, and therefore your chances of getting a better job are greater. So, you know, we're taught our whole lives to get a job. But we're never taught that there's anything above a job. You know, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, like you have succeeded and, you know, you have done the best you can do, right? I mean, that's what we're taught. That's what's put into our head. And, you know, it's sad because there's so much more that we can accomplish. And, you know, what's really, really funny is, I'm going to give you guys an example, is I have an athlete on my team named Jens, and his Instagram is State of Mind. Okay, now, this guy is a monster. He's scary as fuck looking, and he has tattoos all over his face and all over his head, okay? So, whenever I post anything to do with him or do a video, probably, I would say, 30% of the comments is, this guy will never get a job. Ha 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 ha. Good luck getting a job, buddy. You know, why would you do that? You could never get a job. And it's, to me, it's fucking hilarious because what these people, they don't understand is they're talking like they're above him because they have a job. And they're making fun of him because they believe that he can't ever get a job. So he's basically a loser and he's never going to make anything of himself. Well, what they don't understand is Jens owns 3 businesses and he has people working for him. So instead of having a job, he supplies other people with jobs. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty fucking hysterical. And it's pretty fucking sad, you know? And the thing is that, you know, when you have a job, you are working for somebody, right? So somebody is running that business, whatever it may be. And I think, you know, the goal, which would be awesome, would be that person. Be the person that's hiring people and giving people jobs, rather than trying to be the person that's getting the job and working for someone else and making that person wealthy. You know, it's the best scenario is to get people working for you to help make you wealthy. And the reason I'm talking about this is I have a lot of young followers, and I want to plant that seed, and I want them to realize that, you know, there's more to life, and you can reach a lot higher, you know, than getting a job. And, you know, that's not the fucking, you know, that's not necessarily the best fucking scenario in life, is to work your ass off to get a job working for someone else to make them rich. You know, I mean, the best situation would be owning your own business and having employees under you working for you and making you rich. And any business you see, wherever you go, when you drive down the street, everything you see, somebody owns that shit. So when you walk into Chipotle, there's people working there, there's a manager there, but there's also the person that owns that fucking Chipotle that isn't
Chipotle.
even there. They're not even there working, but they're making all the money. So I just want to plant the seed to people that you can shoot higher than a job, you know, and you will never get to that point if you don't open your mind up and you don't even know this knowledge, let alone, you know, work towards this as a goal. But, you know, the truth is a lot of people are not even aware of it. You know, all that's on their mind is getting a job. You know, I need to get a job. They lose a job, I gotta get a job. You know, they get a job, they're like, you know, that's as far as their mind goes is a job. That's it, a job. You know, I got a better job. And again, please don't take this wrong. I'm not talking shit. We've all had jobs. Everyone has had a job. I just want to plant the seed so people will realize that there are
Boom.
scenarios and you can shoot higher and you can work towards a bigger goal. And the younger you are when you realize this, and the younger you are when you start shooting towards this, you know, the more chance of you accomplishing this, and the quicker you can accomplish this. And you know, you have to understand that when you look around at all these businesses, it's all these people fucking own this shit, and there's no fucking reason why you can't accomplish the same thing. You know, you should never think in a million years that that's not a possibility, ever, because it's a possibility for everybody, you know? But it's something that
Do you actually like property? I'm confused here, because I've seen a lot of content where you talk about not owning your own home.
A man has to be ruthless with his time.
Okay.
Gentlemen, fellas, welcome back to another video. Now, over the course of really the last 3 years, I've converted myself into a rather idiosyncratic individual. And that brings its good parts, that also brings what's perceived as bad to some people, right? But here's the truth. I oftentimes talk to you gentlemen about living like an executive, becoming the CEO of your own life. And let's face it, you guys watch me, you guys are on this channel because you want to be a top 1% man, right? You want to be better, you want to be the ultimate version of yourself. You want to make more money. You want to date beautiful women. You want meaningful relationships. You want a brotherhood, right? You want status. You want everything that you desire to be of upper echelon, right? That's why you guys are into
I'll get back
self-improvement.
to work.
And the truth is, you gentlemen are going to have to do an audit of your life, and more specifically, an audit of your time. Now, you have to be ruthless with your time. You can't just give yourself freely. People have to make certain moves to get access to you. I've spoken to you guys about the concept of setting up systems in your life. And oftentimes, I repeat myself on this channel. For one, we have an influx of new people that are coming in. And two, you guys have to understand that only through repetition will you impress these concepts on your mind. Now, I've spoken to you about how you have to understand the language of the mind. And the mind understands images as well as emotion. And via repetition is how you impress these new concepts into your psyche, into your paradigm, making you a new man, the man that you see in your mind, the man that you desire to be. Furthermore, there's going to be seasons in your life where you're going to have to sacrifice, gentlemen. You won't be able to go out on a date. You won't be able to go out with your friends. You might not be able to enjoy that time with your family. You're going to have to sacrifice yourself and offer yourself as a beacon of service for everything that you desire. Now, that being said, you know, oftentimes I hear that I'm serious, that I'm this, but the truth is, I don't give a fuck because I know where I'm going. And where I'm going, few have traveled that path. See, you gentlemen have to get real comfortable with traveling the unbeaten path. Should you seek aggrandizement in society? What do I mean? Fellas, there's a pocket of time, there's a pocket in your life where you're allocating your attention that's not serving you. You guys know I have no issue being honest, right? When I started doing the audit on my life, where my time was going, I always felt like the day was running away from me. And I had to get real honest. There's pockets of time where I spent watching porn, right? A whole hour looking at different scenes, edging myself until I found the right scene to blast off to. Yeah, okay. Now we getting real fucking honest, bitch. Pockets of time where you just scrolling. Maybe you get home from work and you've had such a hard day fighting the world as a man. All you want to do is just relax and scroll a little bit, right? That scrolling turns into 2 hours. Now it's 12:30 a.m. and you got to be up at 6, so you said. But now you're just sleeping an hour later. Now your whole day's thrown off. You see, the next chapter of your life, gentlemen, the higher version of yourself is going to require your fucking all. And should you see that man manifest, should you become that man, you're going to have a no-nonsense policy. You're going to need to be ruthless with your time. I oftentimes speak to you guys about how I allow myself to see a woman 1 day a week. Certain seasons, I don't date or see women at all. And as I age, as I develop, and as I mature as a man, I used to be so sexual, right? I have a high testosterone. Like, I used to always just want to have sex, and I still do. However, I now think from the macro perspective that I've spoken to you gentlemen about. See, I'm going for greatness. I'm becoming greatness. Shouldn't that be the goal for all of us? You're gonna have to be ruthless with your time. Part of being ruthless with your time is to do that audit, figure out where you're putting your energy and your attention, and you remove those things, those distractions, and you bring in, habits that are more conducive to the man that you want to be. From there, you gotta be cutthroat with this shit, fellas. You gotta have a schedule. If you don't have Google Calendar, download Google Calendar and write down everything that you're doing throughout the day. Now you're starting to live like a boss. Now you're starting to live like an executive. Your time is too precious. Your energy is too precious to be wasting it on frivolous pursuits. See, the issue with you guys is that you say you want to be this, you say you want to be this man, you say you want to get to 30K a month, 50K a month, 80K a month, whatever. You say you want to have this girlfriend, this wife. You want to be in higher circles of men. You want to become a great ranger. But when it comes down to do what lions do, when it comes down to do what dogs do, you cower away. And that's a you problem. And that's a major disconnect in your mind. You see, the truth is you don't believe you can do it. If you believe you can do it, you would be living, walking, talking, breathing as that version of yourself. There's nothing new under the sun. There's no information that you lack. And even before you hire somebody for accountability, you gotta hold yourself accountable as a man. Or you can't hold yourself accountable, how do you expect for you to be able to retain that woman, for that woman to be able to submit unto your leadership when you lack the very leadership to lead your own mind? See, this shit isn't hard. In fact, it's quite simple. You're gonna have to be ruthless with your time. See, I just can't go out anymore and spend all night at the club, all night drinking, all night doing bullshit. I know there's fire that's burning in my fucking heart. Furthermore, you gentlemen are going to have to delegate trivial tasks. You see, it is a privilege to be able to hire a chef and things like that so that you can save time. Now, that's not specifically what I'm talking about. What I mean is, you're going to have to be able to appoint certain people in your life to take care of tasks that just don't move the needle for you in order for you to move into your highest level, which I've always spoken to you guys about, is creativity. You guys are going to have to respect yourself and your time and only focus on the big decisions of your life. You're going to have to appoint people and delegate certain tasks. If you can afford a meal prep service, just pay for the meal prep service so you don't have to cook. This will give more time back. And every hour that you delegate is an hour that you give back to yourself in order for you to truly move the needle and be the executive of your life, fellas. It's time to focus on the big tasks in our lives, the big decisions, the decisions that are really going to get you to where you need to be. How bad do you want this shit? For me, I need this shit. I've been average. I've been docile. I've been timid. I've been insecure. I've been unable to articulate myself and communicate effectively. And I'm not going back to that man. Or should I say that boy? You gotta be ruthless with your time, fellas. Even if you're chilling with a chick on a Friday night, and you might have a sales call, you might have a team meeting, you might have something that you need to do for your business on Saturday morning, and you're chilling with that girl, and it's already 1 a.m., it's already 2 a.m., maybe you get in the box, maybe the box is fire, she got that cake battery creamy, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe she got all that, up 10,000, but it's 2 a.m., and you said you had to be up at 7 on Saturday. You gotta be cutthroat. Are you gonna lay up with her till 4 a.m.? Or are you gonna make that executive decision saying, hey baby, I gotta go? Or you gonna drop her off home like a gentleman does, make sure that she gets home safe, and you back to the chicken? You gotta be cutthroat with this shit, fellas. You gotta be ruthless with your time, with your family. Everybody's calling you, people want something from you, people asking for this, that, third. Okay, it's cool. We're gonna allocate a certain amount of time to every different, area, every single pocket in our life, right? As a boss, you gotta be able to set up systems so that you can make sure that all these different areas and pillars of your life are being filled. But the truth is, guys, sometimes there is no balance. Sometimes certain areas in your life are gonna have to get less attention from you and suffer in order for you to make those big decisions and really move the needle. And by you moving the needle and becoming that ultimate version of yourself, you're gonna be able to better serve the people that you love, your family. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your friends, your brothers. There's certain seasons in your life where you gotta be so cutthroat with your time that in order for you to become the best you, so that the people that are directly in your life can benefit, you're gonna have to be cutthroat with this shit. Straight up. And this is something that I've come to realize. When I make these videos and I talk to you guys about these topics, oftentimes the things that I'm literally going through, things that I'm maneuvering through, building, iterating, figuring out. Gentlemen, as a boss, you're gonna have to iterate. You're gonna have to figure out what's applicable to your life. This is grown man talk right now. I'm not talking to you about superficial self-improvement bullshit. I'm talking to you about how to live like a dog, how to actually be the CEO of your life. You're going to have to be ruthless with your time. You're going to have to audit your life. Where are you allocating time right now that's not moving the needle? Are you beating off too much? There was a time in my life where I had to check myself. I said, yo, if we were $1 million man, would we be jacking off like this? No, we wouldn't. We have regular sexual access. Okay, boom, cut that out. You're scrolling too much, Doug. Okay, boom, cut that out. You're wasting time cooking, Doug. Okay, let's get our bag up so we can hire somebody so that they can cook for us. Okay, cool. You gotta work, fellas. You gotta work. Simple. But all that work is you being honest with yourself. You gotta work on yourself. Before you get that woman, before you get to be in certain circles, before you get to go to business, right? Before you get to do anything, you gotta work on yourself. And that work starts in your mind. You see, I work on my mind like I work on my body. I train my mind at least 7 times a day. I wake up, visualization, meditation, working on those higher faculties, strengthening my mind so nobody can penetrate my mind. I own my life. I own my mind. I own my time. I can't just be hanging around anymore on the block. Come on now. You got too many things to do, too many people to reach. Man has to be ruthless with his time. See, once you start moving like this, fellas, you really start to make leaps and bounds in your life. Everything starts to change. Your perceived value goes up. People respect you more. When a woman gets around you, she can tell you're not one of those. No, you're not one of those. It doesn't mean that you're an asshole, that you're a prick, that you're arrogant. Rather, it just means that you respect your time. You respect her time as well. You understand that life ain't promised. Any one of us could die tomorrow. You'd be arrogant to assume otherwise. So when you move like this, you respect everybody's time. And it makes for a smoother interaction with everybody. This is how you move like a dog. Fellas, once you turn off this video, you're gonna have to get real honest with yourself. Are there pockets of your life, pockets of your time throughout the day that you're wasting? Are you living like the highest version of yourself? Are you living
Boom.
like that boss? Are you living like that dog? You can't fake it. It's just something that you gotta give your all to, fellas.
I feel a lot better for it, and
Congratulations, sir.
appreciate it. Had a bunch more kids.
Oh, congratulations. So you're doing all the right things. See, you meet me, I go to jail, and your life goes in the perfect trajectory. You're doing everything right.
I mean, you hurt my channel. You hurt my channel quite a lot. I had a lot of bad stuff over the channel. But no, it's really good to see you. And this is actually the 3rd time that we've sat down and made content together. So I appreciate it. I respect it. Because every time you come on my channel spikes massively, which results in business opportunities, revenue for me.
That one's going on the balance sheet.
And I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That means a lot. And before we continue, I am actually very curious, weight loss-wise, what worked for you? What was the things that worked? What are the things that didn't work? Like, what did you work out? Because I feel like the reason weight loss or staying in shape or fitness is such a complicated subject is different things work for completely different people.
For me, biggest thing, fighting. Having to get down to a weight for a bit. That's the biggest thing.
And what about like foods or any particular diet you were sticking to or anything where you're just watching what you're eating, training?
Just training, chicken, meat, protein, vegetables, and
So it's all
black
choice.
coffee.
So it's a choice. Yeah, yeah. So if someone's overweight, they chose you. Yeah, of course. If someone's broke, they chose to be broke.
Yeah, and I would have never have said that wasn't the case before. I
Okay.
would have.
But do we go a level deeper and say if someone's depressed, they choose to be depressed?
Maybe we do.
That's what I would say. I'm trying to see how extreme you would get with it, because I believe everything in the world is a choice.
Yeah.
And people will argue with you when I say that. They say, no, I didn't choose to feel this way. And I'll argue that. That believing everything is a choice empowers you to make the change. Trying to say that everything is not a choice removes your power and your authority and your responsibility and your capability.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
people sit and say, oh, no, I didn't choose this, well, then they can't choose to fix it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you accept that every single thing about you is a choice, then you get to choose to change it. So I think the most powerful thing you can do if you're a depressed or sad person is accept that you have chosen to be that, and you can choose to stop being that. And that's the mindset which allows you to be most competitive. So that's why I would say what I would say. I would say that all things are.
Whether it's true or not, it's more empowering.
And then, okay, so you're right. So let's go deeper down the rabbit hole. What matters more? What is true? Like, we can get very philosophical with this, but surely your mindset as a man, especially in the world today, should be the mindset which allows you to be most competitive and win.
Yeah.
Forget truth. If I believe the sky is green, but it doubles my net worth, I mean, is that true?
All right, chat. Hey,
My net worth is doubled.
I'm asleep. Make sure you guys like, sub with noties. Check out all links in description, especially my link tree, which gives you guys my merch. Okay, make sure you guys definitely buy the Jam merch and the Hazard Clan merch. All right, other than that, thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Have a good one. Catch y'all in the next one, baby. Until then, goodbye.